Okay, traders, here we go. VTP Stage 2 online, technical Tuesday coaching call 187 for the 31st of March 2026. I hope you're all well. Hope you're enjoying a good week. Hope you are keeping a close eye on markets because, as always, there's plenty going on. As always, you're very welcome here. Just remember, you are responsible for your own trading decisions. And for those of you who have done stage 2 and want to go on to stage 3, the last day of the special offer is today. Okay, it reverts to normal price tomorrow. So you can ping me, or you can see that QR code or the Bitly if you're intrigued. And finally, we'll look at sterling. Okay, so it's a very mixed, scrappy picture on sterling. Certainly, if I go start off with cable, having worked our way up there, that's pretty much ended there, as you can see. But then, as I said, I think I said this yesterday on the dollar call, is that if we look at the bang, if you look at pound dollar for this month, that is just the price action there. If you're trying to be a swing trader, okay, taking positions for a few days or a few weeks, that ain't happening, isn't it? Look at how that has particularly played out there. Not particularly nice at all there. Okay, trying to trade that. I think when we go into the 4-hour chart, no, that's what you've seen. That's what you've worked out. If you're a mean reversion trader, well, then that's been great, and have admittedly been some swings, but a lot of that is volatility swings literally off the back of Trump's comments. That's what we're doing there. Okay, so today's the last day of the month, last day of the quarter. Well, we'll get a little bit of kind of volatility before we get just normal money coming back into the market tomorrow. Let's see on that. But it's difficult to take any joy out of that. There's no real sterling love. It's a case of what is dollar. Are we in war on or war off? That's where we are. Pound against yen, as I said, we worked that. Yeah, that's a very scrappy diamond there, but you can see, we're back beneath the 50 there, pound against yen. You see, even pound against yen on the daily chart for this month, bang, you'd be saying that invariably what has happened is, we've been pivoting around that 50 period moving average, haven't we? All right, that's what's been going on there. That's what I'd be looking at that. That's and as I said, trying to take swing trades off that, not easy. Pound against Swiss has also been, here we go. Pound against Swiss had been a fantastic trend, all right? That is sterling weakness, Swiss franc strength, start of the war, and the Swiss have basically used that. You've heard me say that I've used that as a way and a means to weaken Swiss franc, and you'd have got to say that they have been quite successful at that. But even then, these last couple of weeks has just been, pretty challenging. Pound against Aussie was, once again, that Aussie strength, beautiful. But, it ended. And this is the idea that, sometimes endings can be very transitory. They can be scrappy. They can be, challenging. But, it's almost like we push down there to the flush. And then we put in this 1, 2, 3 bottom, this low, this high low. And we've worked our way back up. And then, we're here now coming into the end of the month, pivoting around the 50. That's where I'd see us there. Pound against New Zealand dollar. Well, that's daily chart down to the double bottom there. Okay, down to the double bottom, and then basically working our way up, haven't we? That's just been, that's Kiwi dollar weakness. All right, Kiwi dollar weakness. That's what we're seeing there. Pound against Canadian dollar is kind of curious in that we can see that basically through a lot of that war, the sterling weakened, hasn't it? Weakened considerably. Canadian dollar strengthened, but actually, even if you look in the last couple of weeks, isn't it? We're putting that big flush bottom, which has become this kind of messy double bottom. We worked our way higher. We pushed up to the 50, and I was looking for us here to run up to the 50, put in double trouble, a couple of pin bars off the 50. I thought we'd maybe drift down to the 20. But we haven't so far, have we? That's I wonder, as I said, if that's kind of relief. All right, that's this is kind of war off. You're getting kind of greens on the war off, and big bearish days on war on. Okay, war on suits oil. Okay, price. War off suits sterling. A kind of a risk on currency. That's where we are. That's where we find ourselves there. And euro sterling, I mean, yeah, just not terribly pretty there at all, is it? Really, it's if you just look at that in the weekly, just even for this year, all right, even for this year, that's just messy, isn't it? I'm just trying to what's that? 86.10 to 87.90. All right, so 180 pips for the year. That's the range we've been operating in. Okay, and we've had that kind of peak up there at the start of March, and lows there. Okay, now we're back up. It's not particularly easy. All right, not particularly easy, but that's what happens when you've got war. All right, hopefully, as I said, maybe we get the peace trade. Maybe we get some proper good trends. Okay, whatever they may be, and we can take advantage of them going forward. Okay, let's draw it to a close there, everybody. Lots to cover there, but that's because there's been lots going on. I hope you found that useful. I hope that's given you a bit of help, a little bit of insight. Lots, as I said, lots happening. Keep an eye out to see if that peace trade gets any traction. And as always, I wish you the best of success in your own trade, and I hope you have a good week. Just to remember, stage 2 call will be back in 2 weeks. Okay, have a great Easter. All right, enjoy yourselves, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.